Section C. Phases and Rotation of the Moon.
Pink Floyd called their album The Dark Side of the Moon. Unfortunately, astronomically speaking, there is no dark side of the moon. There is, however, a dark side of the Force.
Instead of a dark side, the moon has a far side.
This is because of the force of the Earth's gravity. Long ago, the gravity of the Earth distorted the moon, making it lopsided. The Earth's gravity continues to pull on the bulge, making that side always point toward the Earth. And so, the same side of the moon is always facing the Earth. So when we look at the moon, we're always seeing the same side.
The moon takes about 27 1/3 days to go around the Earth, but the moon goes through its lunar phases in 29 1/2 days. The reason for this is a bit complicated. For now, just remember that the moon's cycle of phases lasts 29 1/2 days. It'll come in handy later on.
If you're still kind of shady on how that works, check this out. This guy's the Earth, and this soda can is the moon. His arm is the force of gravity. You, my viewing friends, are the sun. As the moon goes around him, it makes one rotation on its axis, and you get to see every part of it once. Make more sense now?
The same side of the moon is always facing the Earth, but every part of the moon faces the sun at one point or another during that 29-day cycle. That's why we can't see the moon sometimes. We see the moon when the side of the moon that's facing us has sunlight shining on it. If the far side of the moon, the part we never see, is facing the sun, our side is in shadow, and we can't see it.
How much of the moon we see is determined by the angle between the Earth, the moon, and the sun. If the moon is between us and the sun, for example, we don't see the moon at all, because the part of the moon that is lit by the sun is facing away from us.
Actually, if we really tried, we could see the moon, because enough sunlight reflects off of the Earth to light up part of the moon that's in shadow. But as far as we're concerned, you can't see it.
If the Earth is between the sun and the moon, we see a full moon, because the whole side that's facing us is lit up by the sun.
Doesn't the Earth get in the way of the sunlight?
Sometimes, but not often. The moon orbits the Earth at an angle, so the Earth doesn't get in the way much. A phase of the moon is what the moon looks like to us during a certain period of time. It's how much and which side is lit up.
So now we're going to show you all the phases of the moon in order, from new moon, when we can't see it, all the way through full moon and back to new moon again. One cycle through all the phases is the 29 1/2 day lunar cycle. Each phase lasts about 4 days.
New moon. You need a new moon in this phase, because you ain't got one. Waxing crescent. If you see more of the moon on the side facing west, it's waxing. You can remember what a crescent moon looks like because it looks like a crescent roll. First quarter. Here's how you remember this one. A quarter is a half. Sounds stupid, but it works. A quarter is a half. This is called the first quarter because the moon is 1/4 of the way through its cycle. Waxing gibbous. Gibbous is a funny word, and that makes sense because this is the phase when the moon is the most funny looking. Full. This one is, well, this one's pretty obvious. Now for the waning stages. You see more of the moon on the side facing east. Waning gibbous. Funny moon, funny name. Third quarter. A quarter is a half. Since it's the east half of the moon, it's the third quarter. Doesn't make any sense to me either, but that's how it works. Waning crescent. Moon crescent roll on the left side. New.
Let's run through those once more.
New, waxing crescent, first quarter, waxing gibbous, full, waning gibbous, third quarter, waning crescent, new.
Got that?
Oh yeah, baby.
The moon doesn't just spin around the Earth and show us its pretty phases. It has an effect on what happens here on Earth.